Vittal, Professor Reddy, respected faculty members, and all the dear students to the second session of this very first webinar series by the Department of Statistics, M.I.N.D, Mentoring in New Directions. It is a great honor to host this webinar at this auspicious event of the 131st birth anniversary of the father of statistics, Professor R.A. Fisher, in collaboration with the esteemed Indian Society for Probability and Statistics on the topic Contribution of Professor R.A. Fisher to Statistics and the Scope of Statistics and its Application. It is also an honor and privilege to have with us Dr. P.R. Vittal. Dr. P.R. Vittal is a member of ISPS. He was the principal and head of Department of Mathematics in the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekanand College. He has presented papers in universities like Stanford, Cornell, Georgia, and various other renowned universities. He was a visiting scientist at ISI Delhi, Bangalore, and Calcutta. His field of interest is probability and stochastic processes and has published 52 papers in national and international papers. He has also authored a number of textbooks in mathematics, statistics, and operations research. Sir, it is an honor for us to have you here with us today. Now, we would like to invite our teacher in charge, Professor Manoj Kumar Varshne, to make his opening remarks and officially start the session.
Yes.
Thank you, Sreshta. Good evening, all of you. First of all, as a convener, I just welcome to Professor Vittal sir, Professor Reddy sir, and Professor Balakrishnan sir. So it's really our privilege that we could connect to ISPS with this webinar, and it's a really a wonderful event. And as far as my memory says that it has been done first time in Delhi University that we are celebrating Professor R.A. Fisher birthday, and at least the student should know why we call him the father of statistics. And in this connection, we have renowned speakers, Professor Vittal sir. And for this program, I really appreciate students who have taken this initiative, and Dr. Hemant, who has taken this initiative and connected with the ISPS, and that I know that he is a member of ISPS. So I really happy to see that we are able to celebrate Professor R.A. Fisher birthday, and I welcome all of you, sir, and thank you very much and for accepting our invitation. Now, next, Ishta, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now, I would like to invite Hemant sir to say a few words and brief us a bit about ISPS.
Yes. I may start this course. Again, anyone inquiry to?
So warm good evening to all. I wholeheartedly welcome to the academicians, students to this special lecture by Professor Vittal, University of Madras, so Chennai. So on the eve of Fisher's, father of statistics birthday. So Professor Vittal sir has authored a number of mathematics textbooks for UG students, for also in a mathematics books. UG students also active in research at the age of 80. So he will go to sit in some ISIS or ISI Bangalore or Kolkata, whatever maybe that places. So he will sit together to work the academician works. So attending academic all programs of various part of country. So he attached the still horizon to the ISPS done that day till to date. So he actively participated in ISPS activities. So each and every year, so he attended annual conference of ISPS. So his presence is there in each and every annual convention. So I'm very happy to see this sir. Again this event also he will join with us and give the some statistics importance give to the students. So I am very happy. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening. Then go for the next one. Then Professor Rashekar Reddy, sir. He is an honorary president of ISPS and also former president of ORSI and former registrar of some Dravidian University in Koppam, so State University. So he is a good academician and as well as a committed person. So he do a lot of experience from these events, organizing each and every day, each and every year. So ISPS activities may be so each and every year he conducted some R.A. Fisher's birthday as well as Mohan Nabi's birthday, C.R. Rao's birthday. So he celebrate each and every year these of events. So I am happy to welcome sir, Professor Rashekar Reddy sir. So giving the opportunity to our college to celebrate the R.A. Fisher's birthday today. So I am great happy to this event year we are organizing this college. So good evening sir, welcome to this event.
Thank you, Hemant. So I'm very happy to see you all. Okay, thank you. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
So
so
once
much,
again,
sir.
I wish to students. So today we celebrate the R.A. Fisher's birthday, the great legendary personality of statistics. So he is initiated a lot of theories in statistics. So hence he was a father of statistician of entire the world. So we celebrate today R.A. Fisher's birthday. I am very happy. So we know that Professor Vital sir so may give some importance of the collaborations of the RA Fishers in statistics. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this giving the opportunity. So Professor Manoj sir, thank you sir giving for the opportunity to me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Professor Reddy, the Honorary President of ISPS, to kindly share a few words.
Professor Reddy, sir.
Yeah, I'm speaking. Yeah. It's my pleasure to say a few words on this happy occasion. Dear all friends, that as you are all aware that ISPS is very active in organizing these type of workshops, particularly Professor R.A. Fisher birthday celebrations and Professor P.C. Mahalanobi's birthday on June 29. And also now we have also now celebrating every year on September 10th about Professor C.R. Rao's birthday celebrations. Now this is it is now we are celebrating Professor C in honor of 100 years birth celebrations of Professor C.R. Rao. And this year we are celebrating many events. So apart from that, this is also one of the event. And our Professor Vital sir is regularly very active in ISPS activities wherever he is now organizing in webinars or workshops or conferences. He is attending almost. So now in this connection, because of my student Hemant Kumar, who joined recently in that college as academic guest, academic consultant, uh, no guest faculty, so that now, because of organizing this event, I am very happy we are associating with Hindu College and ISPS. And in future also, we are planning to organize many events in our with your collaboration. I am sure. So I hope that this event will be very great, useful to all the students now who are all studying BSc honors in our college. I am very happy to associate with this, though it is a little time is very short. I think my president, Professor Balakrishna, is very busy. He told me, but because of some other work he already occupied, I am very happy to associate with you all. So I hope that the college, I am very, the convener and organizing secretary and everybody, I am grateful to them for organizing this lecture in collaboration with our Indian Society for Probability and Statistics. I am sure that we will continue this type of here afterwards on our lectures program in our institution with our ISPs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now request Dr. P.R. Vittu to take over the session.
Now I can start the lecture.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, go. So good evening to all of you. I'm really grateful to the Hindu College Management at Delhi, and then Professor Reddy sir, Hemant, all the professors at the department, and dear student. It's a great opportunity to me at the age of 83 to be with you all today evening through this webinar conference or meeting to talk about R.A. Fisher. It is well known that R.A. Fisher is the father of statistics. He is as good as the Ramanujan of mathematics, and India celebrates the Ramanujan birthday December 22nd, and the government of India declared that as an holiday and celebrate throughout this country. Now, the same is the work, similar lines. R.A. Fisher's contribution to statistics is unmeasurable. R.A. Fisher is a mathematician come statistician. Always it is better to have a good background of mathematics if you want to go into the depth of statistics. Unfortunately, so happened that the statistics department is different from the mathematics department, and many of papers are to be introduced in statistics, they neglect mathematics. It is very essential that the basic background of mathematics is definitely in need of for having a good research work, understanding statistical application, and to go into innovative method and job-oriented courses. I only see that mathematician come statistician are very successful throughout the world. Yes, definitely R.A. Fisher is one of them. Now this is the 131st year birthday celebration of R.A. Fisher. R.A. Fisher period start from 1890 to 1962. R.A. Fisher was born in a very poor family in England and middle class family, and was very ambitious right from the childhood. Distinguished mathematicians and statisticians, they have different attitudes and beginning of the life. I compare R.A. Fisher along with Gauss. Gauss contributed too much to the mathematics and also statistics, not to speak of his contribution to the physics. You have the Gaussian distribution. Students were all doing work, know very well what role is played by Gaussian distribution, and later they termed as the normal distribution. You all know that the normal distribution is the center limit theorem gives that it is the limit of many statistical distribution starting from the binomial and Poisson. Gauss is a great mathematician. Even at the age of 7 or so, when he was attending this class, when the teacher asked him to count number 1, 2, 3 up to 100, the teacher was about to write a letter, and therefore he thought how to count number 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 100 and tell the answer. Before the writing the letter by the teacher, Gauss immediately stirred the answer is 5050. What the teacher thought is that Gauss has copied from his notebook, and therefore he was able to tell. He asked Gauss to stand up on the bench and then asked him that, how do you know the result? Gauss told that, write 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100, reverse the number, 100 plus 99 plus 98, etc. up to 1, add the two series, you get 101, 101, 101, 100 times. So double the sum is 101 into 100, dividing by 2, you get it. The teacher of those days was totally different. He was shocked, and therefore he told him he apologized, and he told him that you are going to become a great mathematician. Einstein is on the contrast, a different person. Einstein never was able to talk till the age of 4. His parents is very much worried. They consulted so many doctors about his speech. Nothing was wrong with his health, but he didn't speak. One day in the night when he was taking the food with the parents, suddenly he said the soup is very hot. Tears came in from the mother. They said that we were suffering for all these 4 years. You didn't speak anything. Why? How is that you spoke today? There. He said that nothing was wrong. All these 4 years, there was no necessity for me to speak. And now I find the soup is very hot. And therefore, I have to say that it's very hot. Parents were very much worried that he will not be able to speak. But this came as a surprising event for them. But when he was admitted in the school, teacher said he's unfit to be a student. He was asked to go out of the school. You all know very well that Einstein proved the fundamental theory of relativity. But for Einstein, the atom bomb would not have been discovered. So many good things Einstein did. So is the case with the reference to R.A. Fisher. R.A. Fisher's eyesight was very poor. R.A. Fisher's family, were some of them in army. So R.A. Fisher thought that he is going to fight for his country and he wanted to serve in the World War II. But unfortunately, so happened, because of the poor sight, he was rejected to serve in the army. R.A. Fisher joined the school, and so happened that his intuition in mathematics was so high. Everything he connected with geometry. He used to see the result within giving the proof at the early head. His geometrical notion undoubtedly was of very high order, and people were surprised that how is that he is giving so much result beginning of the proof. Same is the case with the Ramanic. Same is the case with the Ramanic. He used to give only the result but not the proof. R.A. Fisher, when he joined in a school, he was taken as a meritorious student, contrary to Einstein. He got the first prize, when he finished his school. Then you see, he was put into the college, in the Cambridge. He was a ranker there. And then he was a good mathematician. Fisher was given as the best student of the Cambridge College, and he was awarded the meritorious prize for passing out the graduate. Fisher, so happened, was not only studied mathematics, he also studied physics, biology. His interest was varied in various branches of life science. Fisher worked as a mathematician. Special ability showed at the very early age. Now, his interest in mathematics is developed by virtue of his teacher in the school, who encouraged him so much. He was a sports teacher, mathematics teacher. Then Fisher decided that he must choose his careers as a teacher. And therefore, he passed out mathematics as a subject and statistics as a branch. And after finishing the course in the Cambridge, he took into his career, but he gone for a job. He worked as a statistician in a local place there. In addition to that, he used to teach mathematics, physics, and biology to various students in different schools and different centers like that. He's a multifaceted personality, not only in statistics, even though we remember him as a very great statistician, he served in several ways to several days. He thought he's going to be a teacher. He didn't estimate his knowledge of statistics through mathematical courses. Later, it so happened, he came into contact with Carl Pearson. You all know very well what contribution is made Carl Pearson. Carl Pearson is the person who played a foundation to the theory of correlation and regression bias. Of course, Fisher has helped Carl Pearson also in the development of the theory of correlation and bias. Somehow or other, Fisher didn't have a very good relationship with Carl Pearson, but even though Carl Pearson has awarded him a fellowship in his own department, Fisher preferred to work at Rosenblatt, and he collected the data on various things and analyzed the data connected with biology, and genetics works and so on. So first, he even predicted that how the sex could be said, born child could be a male or a female. So the sex relationship, the birth of a child, the birth of a male or a female, he predicted, and approximately many results to his surprise came in. Even though it was a child's play for Fisher to do that, Fisher has qualified to be a very good teacher, and he started publishing his paper. His first paper came in 1919. It was published in Cambridge Journal. Then he published several consecutive papers. He got number of awards. Fisher's contribution is unmeasurable. In statistics connected with mathematics. I would like to tell you what major contributions have been done by Fisher. You are all students of statistics. You know that factorial analysis, discriminant analysis, Fisher found a foundation stone in linear discriminant analysis and the generalization of Fisher's linear discriminant. Fisher's information theory was algebra. He wrote the algorithm and Fisher's scoring and maximization method. You all know that the maximum likelihood function. Fisher played a very dominant role in the construction of maximum likelihood function. We have a F distribution. Probably many people do not know that this F stands for, or if Fisher's F distribution plays a very dominant role in sampling theory. Fisher's F distribution is a mathematical derivation. You all know very well the normal distribution, the T distribution, the F distribution, and the chi-square distribution plays a very dominant role, not only in classical statistics, but also in modern statistics. They have seen many facets in the improvement of the modern statistics. Fisher's test on F, based on degrees of freedom you might be studying. Students who are going undergraduate courses might be studying what role Fisher is played in analysis of variance. There are two-way analysis of variance, one-way classification, and two-way classification. There are degrees of freedom for both. You know that the 5% level and 1% level tables have been created those days. Fishers play a dominant role in studying the test of significance. Fisher's whole theory of F analysis came because of his association with crop development. Fertilizers, is the yield is more because of the fertilizer or because of the soil? Or is the yield is more because of the ground or because of the soil, the fertilizer? So he analyzed one-way classification and two-way classification of analysis of variance. Analysis of variance was discovered originally not only to discuss about the test of significance and various ways of ANOVA table 1 for one-way and two-way classification. You have the large sample and the small sample, For test of significance of the large sample, it is necessary that you should have at least 30 elements. If the observation is less than 30, the results that you observed from the large sample may not be very fruitful. That is why the birth of t-test came. Fisher has played a dominant role in the description of t-test also. Not only the F in t-statistics also, Fisher plays a dominant role. The sample size is less than 30. We apply the t-test for finding the significance of the difference between the mean. Now, much more important in analysis of variance is that either in the large sample test using the Gaussian test or the t-test called the student t-test, we only compare the sample mean with the population mean, or we compare the significance of the difference between the two sample mean. If there are two samples, you cannot apply the t-test or the large sample test. It is the analysis of variance that helps you to study the small sample or the large sample, more than two samples, right? So it is mu1 equal to mu2 equal to mu3, etc. is the null hypothesis. They are not equal is the alternative hypothesis so far as the F test is concerned. It is not the test of variance, it is the test of mean. The F test is for testing the significance of the difference between the means of more than two samples and generalizing to the population. Analysis of variance play a very dominant role, not only with reference to the agricultural field, but also with reference to data analysis and also with reference to the business management and so on. Just like M.S. Swaminathan, as a great agriculturist who helped our country to come out of all the problems concerned with agriculture. Much more is R.A. Fisher, who dominated in studying the agricultural experiment, and thereby came at the birth of F distribution. So, as we now see M.S. Swaminathan as a great agriculturist in India. R.A. Fisher is considered to be the topmost mathematical agriculturist in the world. They're all mathematical gods. See, Fisher, Archimedes, Gauss, Euler, Einstein, and all of these people, they have contributed in their own way, and a lot of applications are there. Every one of the applications of the mathematician are fully utilized through the probability theory in statistics. Now, coming to the R.A. Fisher, not only did the F test and T test, he has collaborated with Tippett and Nadenko, a great Russian mathematician and probabilist. Fisher's contribution is joint papers with Fisher and Yule. On one basis, Fisher contributed on Fisher's test. He worked on also inverse probability. A patient has a cancer. Now, when the doctor decides that he's suffering from cancer, this is the primary, suppose he finds the cancer in the tongue. Is it started from there, or it is in the liver, or in the bone? So, if you know the secondary event, is it possible to predict the primary event that is known as the inverse probability? People now apply the inverse probability through Bayesian estimate, and Bayes' theorem for the inverse probability is there. Fisher works a lot in inverse probability too. Fisher's permutation theory is also there. Fisher's inequality is there, just like our C.R. inequality. You study the most important efficient estimator, sufficient estimator, unbiased estimator. Fisher contributed very much in the discovery of the sufficient estimator, so for estimating the parameter concerned in the statistical probability distribution. Fisher's non-central hypergeometric distribution. Hypergeometric distribution is a complicated distribution which has a small simple form of a binomial distribution. Now, Fisher contributed a lot in hypergeometric distribution of various kinds. That too, they are called non-central hypergeometric distribution. Student distribution, not to speak of. Fisher's stamp is there. The concept of ancillary statistics and the notion of ancillary principle has been completely introduced and studied by R.A. Fisher. The world cannot forget the contribution of R.A. Fisher, even though he was accidentally chosen his career. That shows the God's help to him and his aptitude towards the academic life. Naturally, he wanted to be an army person to fight for the country. God has sent him back to study the mathematics and then the knowledge of probability and statistics. I can always say that the great probabilist who compared with Fisher is Nadenko, Kolmogorov, Markov, and so on. Russian probabilists have contributed too much to the development of the modern theory of probability and statistics, and Fisher is going to be on par with all these people, that too in the classical age. Prior to the 1890s, but in the early ages of the 20th century, Fisher has taken the academic life too much even though he has the handicap of the high side. Fisher's contribution is unmeasurable in the sense that he not only studied theoretical but also an experimental based on estimation. Estimation plays a vital role in the theory of statistics. After all, the theory of statistics is that how far the theoretical distribution go with the parametric to non-parametric distribution. We speak of the parameters in all the theoretical distribution. We pick the estimates in all the non-parametric distribution. So we identify what is the effect of the sampling. Is the statistics is more or less the same as the parameter? How is the sampling error? Is the sampling error tolerable? For all these things, Fisher's F distribution is an example, and Fisher has contributed so much in the development of all these things. Not to speak of the Fisher as only a mathematician or a statistician, he was a good human being. He used to help all the people. All the young people are used to round about the Fisher, in learning the process, and many of them, even the small place, he disassociated himself with Carl Pearson and joined at Rosenberg, and many people joined with him and worked with him, and they contributed along with him several results in statistical theory of probability as well as notional inference and test of hypothesis. So, said R.A. Fisher, it is, and also he has been honored. Now, I had the opportunity of seeing R.A. Fisher when he was in ISI Delhi. R.A. Fisher came to Delhi in 1959-60. He passed away in 62. He was a visiting professor at the Delhi University. Along with him, Professor C.R. Rao was there, Magalabinis was there, and K.R. Parthasarathy was there. Abel Prize winner S.R.S. Varadan was there. Varadan, Varadarajan, and K.R. Parthasarathy, the triplet who still contribute in the world, lost to the development of mathematical statistics and probability or large deviation. Varadarajan, S.R. Varadan were all of them the students of R.A. Fisher when he was in ISI Calcutta. That's why in one of the recent speeches, when somebody talks about R.A. Fisher, they say that he had a lot of Indian students with him and they have been benefited very much by R.A. Fisher's lecture. R.A. Fisher has got number. There is a special block called Fisher's Block in ISI Calcutta. Now, Fisher was elected to the Royal Society, a very prestigious award in 1929. No, he has the Rankler Medal. Fisher got the Royal Medal, was invited speaker in ICM, International Conference in Mathematics. In 2010, International Conference in Mathematics was conducted in India, in Hyderabad. Probably C.R. Rao might have been there, but I was also one of the speakers there in the International Conference at Hyderabad. Now, R.A. Fisher participated in 3 of the international conference in ICM, and he was even after his death, several people started awarding him, and there was a lecturership, a special chair in 2010. R.A. Fisher chair was created in the genetic department, the University College of London, and R.A. Fisher lectures in North American Society. Kent University has a special award for him. In 1950, R.A. Fisher Wheeler and electronic delay was storage automatic calculator. Using that, they have a department wherein he used to be remembered as a Fisher's rule. Statistical inferences through automata and computer has been originated with the work of R.A. Fisher. So it is not to speak of less about R.A. Fisher, his contribution is unmeasurable. Really today, as many people celebrate our birthday like that, it is the Remembrance Day of R.A. Fisher. At least the statisticians have to look into what R.A. Fisher contributed. R.A. Fisher's contributions are all classical, no doubt. At that time, there was no cell phone, there was no sophisticated computer, but had they been there, probably R.A. Fisher might have been contributed so much. Now, there are a lot of opportunity for improvement in statistics, and people of the current generation have to work out in the different ideas so that now they see what contribution they can make to remember R.A. Fisher and take his line of thinking to a greater alternative. So it is like a relay race. We have to continue the work of R.A. Fisher and take into consideration what our contribution to be to the knowledge of R.A. Fisher. Now, so far the statistics is concerned, I said that there is also one other Fisher, Fisher's ideal index number. That Fisher is not that R.A. Fisher. No, in statistics, index number play a very important role. In index number, you have a last year's index number, Passey's index number, Bowley's index number, Fisher's index number. Why Fisher's index number is considered to be the best? Many people thought that arithmetic mean is going to play a dominant role in the construction of index number, but is the Fisher only, that Fisher only say that the geometric mean is going to play. So, his index number is called an ideal index number. Time series analysis, you see, now I come to having spoken so much about the R.A. Fisher, now I go into the line of thinking of what contribution can be made in the near future based on the foundation raised by R.A. Fisher, and we have to develop to the sky high. There are a lot of opportunities that are available to the young scientists, especially to the statisticians. Now, the time series analysis is going to play a very dominant role, and also in correlated time series plays a much important role. Now you see that in twin towers attack in September 11 United States. Now using that, how these insurance companies can thrive, what way the data collection could be done. All people study about data collection and business analytics. This data collection plays a very dominant role in insurance company. So it is possible for the statistician to analyze the data. There is enough scope for you people to go into the data analysis. The most important thing that we now see that the statistician can role is into the actuarial science. Actuarial science play a very important role in innovative thinking. You see, actuarial science, if it develops very well, India could improve its statistical analysis very well. There are so many actuaries in Sri Lanka, but not so much actuaries in India. There are only limited number of actuaries in India. Actuarial science course is like you are studying CA course. But I will say that CA course is much easier compared to the actuarial science course. People, they have to compute to an actuarial science course. They have a specialization in mathematics, probability, in economics. Unfortunately, so happens in India, people think that economics is only a descriptive science. It is not so. Unless one is qualified as a mathematics graduate, he will not be taken into research in economics in the United States. Economics is one of the applied branches of mathematics. If you look into the syllabus of the actuarial science course, they might find a lot of application of the actuarial science. Fisher himself has studied so much about quantum physics and quantum mechanics, in which he used the statistical mechanics through physics. He's basically a physicist, so as to say, or a Fisher is a physicist, come statistician. Therefore, he was able to analyze, see the physical situation. Had he been there in the present generation, he could have applied much more to the business analytics through the computer science. Now, when I refer to the course about the actuarial side, being statistics honors student, you remember that, search for the Google. There are two important societies. They are called the Indian Actuarial Society of Actuaries. The second one, the British Society of Actuaries. Both are difficult courses. They are not easy to do. So far, I have seen that right from 2000, for the last 21 years, I am teaching for this actuarial science student at the Madras University. We are able to see only about a dozen people pass this course, but all of them have become MSc in statistics. Passing actuarial science course is a very tough course. Now, if you get that, your monthly salary might be about 5 or 6 lakhs of rupees. Forget about the salary. See the responsibility and the applicability and the innovation that you have to consider in studying this course. Always courses start in a very simple way, but they take you to think you, to foresee you what good results can be arrived. As an example, I now give you a newspaper boy. How the statistics play important role. What a newspaper boy don't. He don't know mathematics, he don't know statistics. He takes from the wholesaler and puts in every house every day morning the newspaper. Someday he was unable to sell all the newspaper. Someday he was unable to give newspapers to all the people, either the shortage or the wastage company. The newspaper boy is worried, and therefore he wants to know how many newspapers he wants to keep so that he can maximize his profit. So he approaches a statistician. It's a classical holder problem. The statistician asks him, collect the data for 30 days. See that how many newspapers you are able to sell. Don't bother about the profit or not. Then he gives you a mathematician come statistician. He gives a relative probability distribution and tells him that how many newspapers he has to keep every day so that he can get the maximum profit. There is also a value called EVPI, expected value of the gain over prospect information. And the newspaper boy knew earlier that what will be the number of people who want this newspaper, he can accordingly supply without disappointing the customer or without disappointing himself, losing somebody. That is called EVPI. This is coming on the decision theory. Decision theory play a very important role in statistical analysis. Simulation is one of the topics. Probably you student might be studying the idea of simulation. Simulation plays a very important role as like the numerical mathematics play in mathematics. Exact theory you will not be satisfied as you derive like the F distribution or the D distribution. Simulation might be is only a method of estimation, right? Suppose I give a very simple example that how statistical analysis is used in simulation. Now you see a doctor wants to give the appointment to the patient. Is it going to give the appointment on the basis of first come, first served basis? Is a dentist say. Therefore, what it does that dentists are different type, extracting the tooth, cleaning the tooth, and then polish shining the tooth, and filling up the gaps, and so on. Therefore, he conduct a sample study, and therefore, how much time each one of the patients is going to come there, and he wants to see that he want to minimize his wastage time. He want to be busy in his clinic. Therefore, using simulation technique, using random numbers in simulation, it gives the appointment to the people so that waiting time be least to the patient, waiting time might become zero to the doctor. Doctor's time, as long as you say in his clinic, is very important, you say. So this is done through statistical analysis. I was one of the members of the World Bank in conducting a survey in Karnataka to see that how the wattage has to be given to the customer for drinking purposes, but also for agricultural purposes and other purposes. Where from this water comes and how you distribute this water to all these people. So the World Bank has helped the Karnataka government, and I was appointed as a statistician somewhere in 2006 or so, and we have analyzed that how needed to be fixed in the urban area, in the rural area, and we also divided the commercial place, the institution, the business center, and then the common man, and how to distribute the water, how much the water should be limited, and wastage will be created. All this correspond to the statistical analysis. We apply the t-test, f-test, chi-square test, and also so many other tests to draw the conclusion. This was implemented in Karnataka in 2007. These are all simple examples that I like to say. There are many, many strongly sophisticated examples and statistical analysis through the theory of probability. Now, the survival probability, medical science, you see, now you want to know that how long a person can live and insurance period, for how many years he has to pay the insurance. Therefore, they study the survival probability, which will enable the insurance company to fix the premium. See, then this will enable them to see the survival probability. Then the survival probability is now called a theoretical mode. And they have to construct an empirical relationship. For that, we go into Von Mayer and Capron Mayer, and also Nelson Allen estimate for prediction. Estimate is approximation, right? Estimate is done through statistical analysis. There we use sensoring. Some of the observation we might neglect. Some of the observation might not be useful. Leaving those observations, we have to draw the inference about our own hypothesis. That is called sensoring, non-parametric sensoring, and then we estimate the lifetime distribution of individual that will enable insurance company. Not only the insurance company, medical line, ICMR is doing a lot of work during the Corona period. In fact, I've also written a few small notes during the Corona period, whether it is going to be linear or it is going to be exponential, whether the curve will come down. In our analysis with the small data, we predicted that only Delhi, Bombay, and Rajasthan, or Karnataka, might have a peak in this, but in all other states, the curve will bend. With the small data that we have collected, and it will claim to be true. See, these centers, they have high Corona. So estimation, what I say is that estimation we are doing, and we are minimizing the error of estimation. You all know how to apply the principle of least square. Principle of least square is a mathematical technique which is applied to study the estimation of parameter, and so also problems like coronavirus. The ICMR has done a lot of work. It has been appreciated by WHO. The work vaccination have been discovered. You see, they have not just done the clinical work. A lot of data are being collected. What are the side effects will be? Is one vaccination is sufficient? Is it necessary that it be followed with second vaccination? And how the age correlation with vaccination will work out. All this data great statisticians have done, they are unknown. Now to say that how statistics play a very important role in, say, sports, you all know that in 1996, India won the World Cup, you see, in which Tendulkar and Sehwag played. And what happened is that they played a cricket match against Pakistan. Shoaib Akhtar was a very great sportsman, very great bowler. People were afraid, especially Tendulkar never faced his ball. Therefore, the opening pair, Tendulkar and Sehwag Akhtar, Sehwag used to be opener, you see. There are a lot of statisticians who study the way in which this Shoaib Akhtar used to bowl and how many wickets he has taken, how they find the ball, what is the curve it has taken, be, and therefore they ultimately estimated that how the player has to keep the bat so that in what deflection, so that he will not only be out, it go into a six. Blindly, so as to say, you will be surprising. Some unknown mathematician comes, statistician, work out. It so happened the very first ball of the Shoaib Akhtar, Sehwag took it with 15 deflection of his bat and it went for a six. Shoaib Akhtar was shocked. The next ball, he changed his position. Sehwag got only one run and gone to the other side. Tendulkar came. Tendulkar also followed the same rule. Akhtar thought that he can bowl to Tendulkar. When the ball is bowled in the same spirit as he did with the very first ball, so whether it is Shoaib Akhtar or Sehwag or Rahul Dravid, the mechanism is more important rather than the player, the way in which they put the ball. Then Tendulkar also hit a sixer, it went to the same. Sehwag Akhtar was totally demoralized. It is not the question of Tendulkar or Sehwag or Shoaib Akhtar. It is the statistician who played, like the playback singer, that all the data analysis they have done and seen that what the deflection of the ball and how the batsman have to keep the bat so that it will go for a six. So in music, a lot of statistical analysis now done in modern days in music, in medicine, in sports, not to speak of everything. Statistics is an ingredient, so as to say, in our human life. We cannot ignore statistics. But if you want to have a strong background of statistics, and if you want to do a good amount of work, which are recognized in international level, that it is better that you should have a good mathematical background. The stochastic processes is one of the special branches of statistics. I told you that probability play a very important role. We have constructed several models, stochastic product, what is called Kolmogorov, Kolmogorov's equations. He played. Kolmogorov created a Bible to the theory of probability, even though the other definitions were classical and statistical. Kolmogorov's theory is called the modern theory of probability. All they put together play a very dominant role. As younger children, I would like to tell you that it is the time for you that you have to spend your time thinking. The age of 18 to 25 is the more enrichable age. Your mind will cooperate with you. You should not dissipate your knowledge and you should not leave your mind of thinking to others. Focus on the subject. People, great authors, if you see that, they are sacrificed for the logic in the sake of invention. You will be able to see how nicely you can find the result. The result that you find, however small it could be, it gives an unmeasurable joy to you. Every one of you should be in a position to contribute something to the development of the statistic, through the development of the statistic, through the academician, through the academician to the world in every sense of it. I'm quite sure all of you were in a position to see that the dominant role played by statistics is what utilities, services it has done in the human society. Everywhere, students in the United States are from India, especially in the statistics. The Indian Statistical Institute, started by Maganabhanes at Calcutta, and then at Delhi, and also one at at Bangalore. All of them, if you say a student of the ISI, no recommendation is necessary anywhere in the world, you will get the job, and a lot of facility will be there for research. So all of you have come from India. India has a very dominant role in statistics. I'm quite sure I appreciate you all for taking this statistical course, and you are going to contribute a lot to the developmental society. With this, I'm quite sure I've not done much to you because I started today morning at 6:30 with a lecture. I'd been to 6:30 to 8:30 a lecture, and then some other activities also were there in my research. And now, incidentally, I'm really so happy to be with you all. It is unfortunately because of Corona, I am unable to interact with you in person, but we all able to see each other in the direction of this webinar. So I am quite sure what little I could contribute, what enthusiasm I can create you. I can mold you to see that you have to contribute a lot to the development of statistics. Statisticians have a greater responsibility and role to play in many directions, especially if you know computer science. I'm ignorant of computer science because I'm 83 now. You see, I have an assistant of somebody even to operate there. But you younger children, you have the three facets of mathematical sciences: is mathematics, statistics, and computer science. Jointly go together in the development, all the three subjects, use one for the development of the other, and you're all going to be very, very successful students and developers as statistical model. I'm quite sure that I was in a position here, very jubilant in expressing my old ideas to you all, and I do not know whether I have satisfied you in this lecture, but I am quite sure that you will be in a position to take your future career as a teacher, because as a teacher, I've gained very much. Teaching will enable you to take the research. If you do both teaching and research, what else you can enjoy life anything. Teacher's life plays a very important role in one's satisfaction. So it is the training of the body, mind, and soul. All these things you get together when you're taking teaching as a career through innovation by means of research. Thank you all very much for giving me this opportunity today evening to be with you and then address you for about this short period of time. If it is an opportunity, I'm quite sure I will be in a position to appear once again, not on this topic, on a different topic. I will be able to interact with you and also with the academic community. I thank once again Hemant, the Department of Statistics, the professors, and the students who all assembled here. Overall, the institution that enabled you to permit this function to go through, and Professor Reddy sir, who is always very kind to me, that he has given a lot of opportunity to express my ideas in different platforms, and you have Professor Manoj, who was very, very enthusiastic and expressing all about universities to me. Really, Professor Manoj, I'm so happy to see you here, at least through this camera. We will have an opportunity to meet each other and have academic thoughts and discussion, which will be fruitful to all of them. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative session and taking out your time to enlighten us. We are truly grateful. So I would like to invite all of the faculty members if they wish to share their views regarding the webinar.
Sir, I am S. Lakshmi Venkatraman.
Yeah,
Congratulations, sir.
So we were to be together, you see, at the C Institute, and now that I used to see you in Vivekananda College also, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you like my talk here?
Excellent, sir. You covered the entire thing. And I am also proud of association with you, as well as a student of ISI Calcutta. Thank you, sir.
Good,
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or information, or want to talk anybody?
Yes, sir.
My limited soul.
In the chat box, if you would like to answer them. Okay, sir. So the very first question is, you have visited many universities and colleges and interacted with young minds from diverse backgrounds. What is the key difference, if there is any, that you observe between, let's say, ISI or any other statistics college?
Is the question?
Yes, sir. That's the question.
I am unable to hear you. The question. Put me back the question.
Yes, sir, sure. Okay, sir. So the very first question is that you have visited many universities and colleges and have interacted with young minds from diverse backgrounds. So what is the key difference, if there is any, that you observe between students from, let's say, ISI or any other statistics college?
Yes. See, I had the opportunity of visiting so many universities in US and also various ISI students there. I visited ISI, Delhi, Calcutta, and Bangalore. Whenever I visit, I go with an idea of writing a paper. I write a paper, and fortunately, so happen all the papers which I wrote from ISI have been published. One of Professor Reddy's students, also a co-author with me. Professor Reddy, in fact, he is also a co-author with me. And that paper I wrote on the theory of dam model, and then I worked a paper on neuron firings, how our nerve cells act, and then random phenomena happen to mind how the message has been sent, and technologically some papers in QA. Now, great thing I found out in the study of the United States is that they are encouraged to think on their own. In the United States University, mark is not the main criteria. Students are expressed their own opinion. They develop the idea. They come to only guidance. Not like in India, everything we teach and then they go through the same thing and write the exam. The little ideas in United States will be sufficient. The students work hard and they get good ideas. They can appreciate if you are unable to answer because the ideas are new. So far as the ISIs are concerned, they are par excellence compared to the even IITs. You see, these students, there will be about at the most 10 students. They choose the students from various universities in India through examinations. Top the interviews are being conducted. We're in Delhi. Probably you might have heard about K.R. Parthasarathi, who was about just 3 years senior to me. In my college, both of us studied in the same college. He worked with A.N. Kolmograph. See, he sacrificed everything. An Orthodox Brahmin, he sacrificed everything. He worked with Kolmograph in Russia, and he's the top probabilist today in the world. Professor K.R. Parthasarathi, he was the ISI director at Delhi. I visited ISI when K.R. Parthasarathi was there. So they choose. He works on Brownian motion and diffusion process, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, so many things. He's along with S.R.S. Bharathan, K.R. Varadarajan, like that. They think a lot of applications they are given important. They work for research and all that. Research is taken. See, even in R.F. Fisher, I've forgotten to tell that, R.F. Fisher wrote a paper when he was a college student. How many students now write newspaper, the research paper? And a special medal have been awarded for R.A. Fisher when he worked that the relationship with the birth of the sex and the birth of the child. And also see, R.A. Fisher's one drastic point that I noticed that when I was with C.R. Rao in one of the conferences, the botanist gave that the first child was very intelligent in a family, and then C.R. Rao asked, which will be, is that the second child will also be intelligent or not? Definitely second child will not be intelligent as the first child, he said that. Then C.R. Rao put the question, which child will be then the next intelligent child in that family? They said that the eighth child will be he said that through the statistical analysis and information theory, that the eighth child. And I surprised to note that C.R. Rao was the eighth child of his family. C.R. Rao is one of his relative, Pratap. He is a chartered accountant in Chennai. We used to discuss about all this things. C.R. Rao, but in this conference, he said that statistical analysis gave him that eighth child will be as bright as the first child. And C.R. Rao told that he was the eighth child. So, analysis, all these ideas, you see, you think of your own and see that, especially my stay at the Stanford and say Cornell University, I see that the students are more competitive. The method of teaching in India is different method I used there to teach. There we used to guide. There we see that the student develop on their own. Just like the mother is giving the methodology of speaking, so we are giving the methodology of learning, and the child has to pick up. Unfortunately, I think that I will be a good teacher if I give everything to the student and not allowing the student to think of their own. This is what happened in India. There's a mistake. Students also should think that they have to work hard. The teacher can only get. It so happened that the teacher doesn't give all this information to him, he is a poor teacher. That's not so. It is not necessary the coach should be a century eater. A batsman could be a century eater. The teacher play the role as a coach. By virtue of his experience, he can guide you. So the case as the teacher. Students should work hard to learn. They should have the enthusiasm, aptitude in developing their idea. I'm quite sure in the modern day, now mathematics and statistics in India, one of the analysis is that the standard is going down. But when I study the world, what the amount of knowledge that developed in 21st century cumulatively for first 20 centuries. 21st century, the beginning contribution in mathematics, statistics, and computer science is much higher than what it has been contributed up to in the first 20 centuries. So there are good people, but we are now there are only limited. We are not able to produce many such people. The role of the teacher is to see that, to encourage the teacher. Fisher's teacher was a cricketer, who not only encouraged in sports, and the mathematics teacher, Fisher says that he came up the career as a mathematician, come physicist, come a statistician, only because of the school teacher. The role of the school and college teachers is that we have to encourage the students to learn more. I hope the teachers are good in Delhi, especially the Delhi University. Students are really good, and I'm quite sure that you will be able to produce many good students thinking. We come across some students coming to Operation Research Core or even to the courses in, says to say, in actuarial science from Delhi. They're very good, right? So encourage the students to pursue the knowledge of mathematics, statistics, computer science through actuarial sciences also. For aptitude students, there are a number of possibilities available. Yes.
Thank you, sir. So the next question that we have is, what is the scope of PhD in statistics from India? Is it better to go abroad?
Once again, repeat the question.
Okay, sir. So the question is, what is the scope of PhD in statistics from India? Is it better to go abroad?
No. India is very good, especially for statistics. Professor Reddy shows that there is one person by name J. Sethuraman. He is a PhD from ISI Bangalore. He is a professor in the University of South Florida, and he is associated with many companies there for getting them. So for statistics is concerned, India is very, very good for research. It is not necessary that you go abroad to do PhD. And if you go there also, there are very many good, especially Stanford, I see good people are there. I see the Berkeley, there are good people. You can see Rochester University, there are good people. Cornell, there are good people. There's so many universities there. But Indian universities, I mean universities like ISI, they are no way inferior. You can do a lot of good work there. But if you go abroad after your PhD, you see, there are enough scope for you to learn more, because the competitive spirit is very high. So many industries and people are coming to you to help and to produce knowledge to you. Unfortunately, we are unable to get it. One of my students by name Alladi Krishnasamy, he is now the dean at the University of Gainesville. He finished, he was recommended there by none other than Paul Erdős. Paul Erdős is the father of mathematics. He is a Hungarian mathematician. He is shining there. He was our student, so as to say. Many Indian students, they go abroad, there are a lot of opportunities, so as to say. That's all. Because you see, you will not be diverted as you are moving here. There, your focus will be only on learning, especially you are a foreigner there. And therefore, the input will be very high so far there. Therefore, output will be increasable. So it is not necessary that you go for abroad for doing PhD. But nothing wrong, you see. We don't say India is inferior, especially in statistics. Magalobinis has established very many standard Indians who are worldwide recognized. You can do that, it is possible. ISI is very near, probably Kudipnar India. ISI Delhi. You visit to the ISI number of times, you see. I don't know anybody current previous, but many people there in ISI, the atmosphere for research is very good there. Start first creating atmosphere, then do research. India is very good so the statistics is concerned.
Okay, sir. Sir, so the next question is, which book should we read if we want to know the real life applications of statistics?
Which book?
Should we read if we want to know the real life applications of statistics?
Real life application. See, if I say that mathematical statistics, there is one book called M.I.N.D. It's a Russian book translated later into English, you see. M.I.N.D, Mathematical Statistics and Application. This is a very good book. Then Carlin and Taylor, Carlin and Taylor go from classical analysis to modern analysis in probability theory and then stochastic product. Then you have S.M. Ross. S.M. Ross has given a number of books, you see, and probability, stochastic process, statistics, like that. So better. So far the books are concerned, I would like to tell you that go for the foreign books. Because there when they write the book, it is not with the reference to the curriculum, with reference to a developed subject. It so happens, unfortunately, in India, we fix the curriculum and then write the book. There it is not like that. The books is fixed as the development of this subject. So you go for the best foreign books. Google search will give you. I said some example, M.I.N.D, Carlin and Taylor, S.M. Ross, like that. Get a basic background in mathematics. That is very, very essential. Any other question?
Yes, sir. For your convenience, we have started sharing the screen so you can see the questions on the screen as well. And I'll read them out for you too. So the next question is, can you share the name of books that you think every statistics student must read?
Can you share?
Can you share the name of the books that you think every statistics student must read? Also, the question appears on the screen as well.
Every statistician, every statistician should read, first of all, the basic book on probability and then statistics, right? S.M. Ross, An Introduction to Probability Theory, Statistics and Stochastic Problem. S.M. Ross. I told you that S.M. Ross. The second book I told is Mark, M.A.R.C.K., Mark Fizz, F-I-S-E-Z, Mathematical Statistics. You will go, there are two parts in that book. The first part is on purely mathematical knowledge required. The second part is on test of analysis. See, I have forgotten to say about world identity. See, what should be the sample size? World identity says that the sample size even be 1. With the help of 1, you can draw the inference. If it is not possible to draw any inference, go to the sample size 2, sample size 3, and therefore, in a finite number of steps, you can determine the sample size. That's called the sequential analysis. In 1942, Abraham Wald wrote a book on sample size necessary to study the hypothesis testing. Unfortunately, World Identity died in India when he came to the Madras University. With his family, went on a tour to in a chartered flight to Ooty, returned back. The flight crashed and he died. Yes, it is. Abraham Wald is a very great statistician. Refer in a Google search, Abraham Wald. He introduced an identity called world identity, which not only played an important role in sampling theory, nowadays it plays a very important role in stochastic process. People of statistics must study a lot of stochastic processes because time and space are the two variables we study together. Stochastic processes, a process going joint variation of time and space. I hope you will be studying book. Cox and Miller, there's a book on stochastic processes. Even an Indian book, J. Methi, probably recently passed away from Guwahati. He worked in Cambridge, and his experience based on that, he has written a book. J. Methi's book is very good, even though it's an Indian, on stochastic process, applications, statistics like that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So the
Thank you.
next question is, someone wants to know the scope of actuarial science and the courses available for it.
See, actuarial science core, I see that several lakhs of students registering for CA, but ultimately only few hundreds of students pass the CA course. Because it is a professional core, therefore many drop out, they find it very difficult. Like that, actuarial science core, especially used in insurance companies, business firm, analytics, and so on, this course is very necessary. Their curriculum is developed by the Indian Society of Actuaries. The curriculum, they conduct 15 papers. Basic knowledge, they say, only mathematics and statistics. Some of the students who pass that course and our Madras University is sponsored by the UGC. They're already engineers. They graduated engineer and then they pursued this course. They got through. They learned several, not apart from earning a lot of money, their contribution is so high. They're in touch with us. They talk to us, most, and all of them are girl students. So girl students play a better role in working hard and getting actuaries rather than boy students. From what I have seen in the sample study, it cannot be generalized. There are 15 papers, right? You can pass. They conduct the examination twice in a year, once in October, the other one in May. So you can write one or two paper. Even if a student or even if a teachers, if they pass one paper in a semester, if it takes 16 years, 16 and a half years, 8 years, it is worth doing the subject. Lifelong you could have consultancy work. And your work, you see, in Chennai, we had a very big flood in 2015. A lot of losses came into the insurance company. Had they specialized all these ideas, probably they could have minimized the losses and all that. Actuarial science is more concerned with insurance company. There is a syllabus in Actuarial Society of India. Actuarial Society of India is as good as the Actuarial Society of England. They consider each equivalent. You can pass some papers there and some papers here. All the 15 papers if you are given the title of actuary is like a chartered accountant. So you must encourage the student to prepare well for the actuarial science course. I teach only 2 papers there at the University of Madras for MSc student. Madras University conduct MSc student. This is sponsored by the university, UGC. They conduct MSc courses in actuarial science. These students prepare, teach the syllabus as in the actuarial science, but the caliber of the student, the caliber of the questions are all very high, and therefore they find it very difficult. But the student, if they work hard, they can definitely get at least in 4 years this degree. Then you see you are in own plane of research. Actuarial science, if you pass through, is much better than a PhD, I will tell you. Lot of data you are collecting, lot of information and inferences you are drawing by doing the actuarial science course. Economics is must essential for them. They have a microeconomics, macroeconomics, Slatte's equation, Ito's integral, all these things. They specialize. Therefore, they will have in a fingertip all the new ideas of tackling insurance problems. Actuarial science is one of the best courses I recommend to the student. You take that along with some other thing. Don't expect that you have to pass this course in 3 years. Don't put the time. Even if it takes 6 years, it's worth doing it. There is no retirement for the actuarist. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So the very next question is, what advice would you give to the first year BSc statistics students who wish to go for PhD or have a job in statistics field after MSc?
See, students in statistics, they are diverse. It's not only in statistics, any branch. They study after their MSc course, they go for a job, right? You have plenty of opportunities. Even the government of India through SSC, you can get the job. If you see some special interest there, then you cultivate the habit of referring to the journals. Now, Google search, you have a lot of opportunity to refer to the journal. Through the journals, you see that any new problems comes into your mind. Then you can discuss with your teacher. So if your aptitude is towards solving those problems, then you must do research. Research not for the sake of research for the sake of enhancing your knowledge, So if you have interest in research, then only you must choose them. Getting a PhD is not a must to the student, but if he has more interest in developing the innovative thing, then PhD serves as a passport to complete his idea of enriching statistical knowledge through recognizing societies, right? PhD, you must aim only if you are good in statistical analysis through research. Otherwise, don't take PhD as a career. One wants to become a teacher, it is a must. Yes.
Okay, sir. So the next question was, how can a statistics student contribute and participate more actively in statistical field along with the academics?
Yes. See, for statistical students, the teachers have to give experimental analysis, the collection of data. I was teaching mathematics in the United States, but I saw a teacher who has just entered to study the degree course there. He give a questionnaire there to collect the data. And after collecting the data, you will ask questions one by one. Why they collected the data, the student didn't know. But after the questions being collected, data being collected, the teacher will put a pertinent question. Is your collected data helps you in drawing inference out of it. Every question the student is able to answer. Now, what is the handicap? Where the basic theory you need? Then they start the development of statistics and explain to them the role played by statistics in the collection of data. So the teachers must encourage the students to conduct small experiments. For example, see in the TV. For example, you see to take two TVs, the government TV, Pudigai we call it here, or NDTV like that. A student, what is the favoritism of the student or the people in the house? Whether they like only music, whether they like the news, whether they go for cinemas, how much time they use, how they spend their timings and alike, and what the information they get. Ultimately, they whether become good because nowadays TV becomes very bad thing. So all this data you can put a questionnaire, collect the data, and use that. Whether the people use Indian made goods or if they are liking for foreign goods. So you have to prepare a questionnaire, type 1 error, type 2 error you come across in the preparation of questionnaire. All these questionnaires you must prepare, ask the student, conduct the survey, and then explain what is the role played by statistics in estimating the impact. Opinion polls, you see, Rajiv Kandarkar was the director of the Chennai Mathematical Institute, who was also a product of ISI Calcutta, He is very good in opinion polls, not only for India, but also abroad he conducted. His prediction was more or less correct. Opinion polls, sample surveys, how the opinion poll predicts which party is going to come. They are not interested in the party, they are interested only in how good our approximation is, how fine our prediction is, why statistics play an important role. So through these things, you create interest in the minds of the students, you see. Opinion poll is one of the best things the teachers can send. So many people conduct the opinion polls right just before the results in the TV. You see what are the data necessary to conduct the opinion poll. In a small way, such experimental designs you can give to the students to conduct opinion polls and analyze the data. So that's how we kindle the interest in the minds of the students, you see. Students should get, ultimately, the students should get interest in the subject, but then the teachers should place a catalyst. I'm quite sure all the teachers in Delhi University are capable of that. There are many advantages over the teachers at Chennai or other places. Delhi University is at the center, a lot of facilities are available, big institutes are there, ISI is also there. Therefore, you can definitely encourage them to go to the student, talk to them, to speak to the teachers there, and weekly conduct a seminar. See, there are seminars, conferences, workshops, publications. They go in state by state. Seminar, whatever you talk, any nuisance you can talk there. students correct it and draw. Not necessarily your results should be, but you will be encouraged to present your data in seminar. Conferences. We think that our results are good. We present in the conference. Some people contradict, your result is not good. But some people appreciate, very good. Then when appreciation comes, we present in the journal. Presenting the paper in the journal is most important because a lot of referees are there. They will certify your paper is very good. Presenting in journal is very, very important. Then once you have consolidated knowledge, you're going to propagate the knowledge through workshops. Workshops will be conducted in such a way that many people you have given detail your result. So seminars, conferences, workshop, publication, they form the different aspects of improving your background, not only in statistics, any branch. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So the last question that we have is, are there any online courses for MSc Statistics students?
Online courses, they should be online courses. Now only I come to online because I have been forced to go online. See, there will be statistic. I don't know. There are some courses in mathematics written by professors of the IITs through YouTubes. They are online courses, so as to say. No, in fact, for people who prepare for the IIT entrance exam, there's one Swamiji from ISI from Calcutta, but they sent me the link. I can send to Hemant that. There might be similar such courses be available in the YouTube form. You can study and from the definitely there must be several YouTube courses. They are not for money, they are only for propagating knowledge. ISI people should have given their lectures through YouTube. I know Professor K.R. Parsad himself has given some lectures when I had a contact with him about 2 years back at ISI at Bangalore. Yes, there will be facilities, online courses and lectures. Through YouTube, first go through them. They will be totally free for you. Yes.
Thank you, sir. These were all of the questions that we had. Thank you for answering them so beautifully. Now, I would like to invite the President of the Department of Statistics,
Hmm.
Rishita
Hey,
Seri.
just a minute, sister. I just want to
Yes,
add a few